Hey folks, this is Austin Unruh from Crow and Berry. I'm over at Fiddle Creek Dairy, and I want to show you guys a little bit about weed control in the silvopasture system. So what we have right here is this is a hybrid willow that we planted here this spring of 2020, and right around it you can see that there's some wood chips, and those are actually overflow from here since I pulled it off. And what I'm doing today is I'm actually going through and we're weeding inside of every tube, and we're finding that probably 75% of the trees have weeds inside of the tube, and some of them aren't an issue at all. There maybe some clover or a dandelion, and that's perfectly fine, especially if the tree is of any size to be able to outcompete for sunlight. But in many cases, there's grasses growing up inside of there, or even multiflora rows in some cases, and that's an issue. That's going to outcompete our tree pretty quickly. So we're going through and we're weeding inside of here. But you'll see that there's wood chip mulch, and we put about 6 inches of wood chips around every tree here this spring after we did the planting. We piled the wood chips up high. You don't want to pile it up against the bark of the tree, but because we had tree shelters on everything, we just piled up against the tree shelter. And that's been critical in keeping moisture in the soil, in providing a little bit of a physical barrier against voles, and then also getting a more fungal environment here for the tree as it gets established. Those are all things that are going to be critical in these initial phases of growth for the trees. Anything that you can do in order to get better growth and higher survival rates in the beginning, in the first year or two of a tree's growth, is going to pay high dividends later, and just going to save you a lot of hassle replanting or doing maintenance after the fact. We haven't quite figured out a really good system for controlling weed growth inside of the tube, right around the tree. We're going to be experimenting with a couple things, including using wood pellets. The thing is, we don't want to stack up, say, mulch up against the bark of the tree, because that's going to compromise the health of the bark and potentially kill it, because we're trapping moisture up against there. But there has to be a good way in order to reduce the amount of harmful weeds that are going to outcompete the tree in this first year or two. So there's a couple of different options out there, and we'll be trying a couple of them out there, and we'll report back to you when we know more. So in the meantime, I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, or if you have something that you'd like to see explained about how to get trees established in an active pasture, please drop it in the comments or shoot me an email. Okay, thank you very much.